So there's many uses for set theory, or there's many different universes. And the von Neumann universe, which is standardized and canonized, I believe is the one that you're referencing. In this particular universe that employs all variables, or all integers possible, the complement of that is the empty set. And that's what gives us this particular universe in which to have this discourse. But now, if I say that there's a set, the frame, let's speak, of this video, that is me and this cigarette, and for the sake of conversation, let's say this cigarette is God. This puts forth the idea in a power set that there's me and God. Now, where the me and God set intersects the God set, leaves just me, right? And so the vernacular use of the word atheistic in terms of lack holds meaning when we say that this set, one holds God, one houses God initially, that God itself as an object in the universe has a complementary relationship to the individual in its absence, in its lack. Okay? Now, you get what are referred to as nullary intersections. And this is where the universe is absent and the empty set is absent. And in these nullary universes, or nullary intersections, to make certain argumentation on what I'll say is where linguistics and semantics start and leave off set theory, where propositional logic begins and leaves set theory, is in how it is, what variables you're going to use. Now there's a systemic, like I said, I'm not arguing against what it is you're putting forth. I'm arguing that your treatment of the objectors of your argument is derogatory and it's mean, and it doesn't fulfill the conventional meanings that are used. And so you can have an arbitrary intersection, you can have a nullary intersection. In arbitrary, you're going to grant the universe in empty sets. In the nullary, you're not going to grant the universe, you're not going to grant empty sets. It becomes a vacuous truth, but a truth nonetheless. And where do I want to take this discussion? Okay. Well, let's see. You want to make a vivisection between truth and belief, and you want to use conventional standards, or you want to use and you want everyone else to follow the conventional standards of what you're referring to as the separation between truth and belief, and you want to bring it to a single point in space and time that occurs only in the now and never then, which is fine that you do that, but my criticism of your video is that it doesn't, like for example, in Morris set theory, in a power set, there must be at least one set that does not hold an empty set, and this will lead to trans-infinite and recursive axioms, and which lead to cumulative hierarchies, a stacking of classes of sets upon each other. And so your particular set that you're using supposes that x on the bottom here, x is an element of x itself, not that x is equivalent to itself for set theory arguments. Okay, I'm a little bit disjointed, but I'm just going to fulfill the time. See if I can get a workaround here. When one moves from set theory as an axiomatic process in which to base mathematics on and objects of the universe into propositional logic, one's made a huge leap at that point, a secondary logical tier which cannot be reduced back down to primary ordered sets. You can have primary ordered sets that exemplify the second order logic, but you can't take second order logic and move it back down to the primary or the first order logic or first order set theory, because at one point or another in secondary logic or propositional logic, you have to make qualitative statements excluding the non-falsification of the empty set relative to the universe from which a Venn diagram of this discourse is allowed. And so what I'm presuming is this, Greg, is that you've taken all, you're trying to force feed a particular one-dimensional perspective into linguists, right? You're trying to force feed that, but you want it to reflect right back down. You want to re-hammer it right back down to set theory and propositional logic. And there's going to be some problems when you do that, and I'm certain you've run into them, because you'll argue that truth is systemic and that these systems are not entirely arbitrary, but you get to pick which elements you want to focus on in linguistics to bury or burrow back down to your argument, back down to the set theory argument of knots and nons. So you will make, and I haven't read anything that there's no knots, meaning that there's subtraction in terms of intersections in set theory, and if you want to say that that subtraction is not a knot but a non, then I would say, well, that's incorrect, because the minus sign or the division sign requires a type of negation, a type of subtraction, and that one, vernacularly speaking, can say that in set theory there are knots, at least in some cases, which is really weird to talk that way. And so basically, I think that you're taking a one-sided or one-dimensional approach, like a funnel, and you're trying to force atheists down that funnel. And so I think your video is excellent. I think it's absolutely excellent in what it does do. I think it's poor in what it doesn't consider, what it doesn't reevaluate in terms of how it is you want to discuss what is meaningful in linguistics and what is meaningful with prefixes of words, and what is variable in linguistics that is not variable in propositional logic and is not variable in set theory. And so I'll hope that you are able to expound your discourse so that you're not left with these distinctions between belief and truth as if these themselves are elements within the sets that everyone must follow. Thanks.